Jim, one of the big things that a lot of listeners were sending over from the Ariel Helwani interview with Tony Khan were the comments about CM Punk's departure, playing the Jack Perry footage on TV. You may remember the Jack Perry footage was played as a response, it seemed, to CM Punk's interview with Ariel Helwani.
Yes. Funny how he's always in the middle of things, a shit disturber.
Well, he gave his tale of what happened with him and Jack Perry at Wembley Stadium. And then all of a sudden they released this backstage footage, which appeared to back up everything Punk said, kinda.
Yeah, almost to like be synced to it.
And then Tony Khan said he was in fear of his life. But let's hear what Tony Khan says now about everything with CM Punk.
I'd be remiss if I don't ask you about the CM Punk story. Do you have any regrets about how that was all handled? Obviously, he came on the show, there was that big interview, and then you guys played that footage. Looking back, are you at peace with how it all played out, or do you wish things could have been done differently?
Well, there were so many things. So like
the playing the footage. Did you think that was the best move in response? Because it felt like that was in response to the interview.
To your interview.
That's what it felt like.
It's interesting because I do think that I didn't necessarily agree with the description of how it all happened.
So that was your way of showing like
no,
this is
not necessarily. And by the way, I really think you're a great interviewer, and I very much appreciate it because we've had a very, very good interview, and I think I've been very good to answer all the questions
you have.
so far. And now you've got me where I'm enjoying talking to you so much. You've really got me hooked in. So I want to answer your questions, even the challenge.
Let me stop it for a moment.
What in the world?
He's explaining why he almost feels like answering the question about CM Punk and everything that happened, and so far he's defending the idea of playing that video, which seemed to immediately begin a downfall in AEW popularity across the board from what we saw. And that's publicly available
which
info.
Was noted by many people. They said, that's it, and Tony looked foolish for describing it as this chaotic scene when it was pretty much a locker room fucking scuffle.
He also didn't answer the question. I mean, there's more here, but did you release that footage as a response to the interview he did with me? That's very interesting. You know, I didn't agree with what he said. He just completely went in a different direction without answering. But let's go back to this.
Challenging ones. And I didn't necessarily agree with everything that was said in that interview about how things happened, but also it's a TV show, and it did a very strong number. And if you look, it was...
Are you talking about the video response from you guys?
Yes. Okay. So for many reasons, I think that it made sense, and it was a thing that was advertised, and it got a lot of attention. That did a very strong number, and also it's in the eye of the beholder.
Was there anything he said that you want to now...
It's in the eye of the beholder.
It's in the eye of the beholder. And it killed your numbers, and it pissed off a lot of the fans. It's this bullshit was made a big deal of.
It completely killed off any chance Jack Perry had once people saw that video. That video did AEW no good, even if it pulled a better number that night, because the numbers precipitously went down after that. Let's go back to Tony Khan and Tony Khan about CM Punk.
Refute.
I think the tape spoke for itself, and I think that I didn't agree with how it happened, and obviously it was a major part of why things were no longer able to continue with us, even though I would have liked to have been able to, and it's clear that I wanted to reconcile and do those things. And
you wish that maybe like by him leaving and then showing up on WWE like 2 months later, that was a huge boost, right?
I think really for us, we've had a great run for 6 years. And if you look at the time before Phil came to AEW, we were having a great run and we had some great times together. But we've been on a great run and we're having this great year right now with this roster. And I think this is the best roster and the best AEW locker room. And it feels like in and out of the ring, the combination of them, this is the best we've been. But I also think
there was a question.
We had great times together, and it was clear when we started doing Collision, I wanted to reconcile and find a way to still do those things. And I guess that wasn't possible, but I didn't necessarily agree with everything.
Did you learn any lessons? Because one of the things that he said in that interview was that, like, you know, and I hope you don't think this is coming from me.
Sure.
I'm paraphrasing, but like, you know, You don't
As I
stand up as a
grovel
boss. You
before
let
you.
people kind of like walk all over you. And so that felt like an indictment on you as the leader of the company, which is what you are. And so I'm wondering what your response would be to that.
I don't agree with that, but I also think that everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's feedback, and it's fair if that's how he feels. But I didn't agree with the description of the way things played out, and that's okay. And that's all in the eye of the beholder. Just like the whole situation, if you see the way it came out, it all was in the eye of the beholder, and that's okay. I think
That's his new phrase. It's 3
The
times
eye
now.
of the beholder.
The eye of the beholder. He's going to trademark that. AEW, eye of the beholder. He learns famous
Well, but
expressions.
besides that, it showed that he had lied. No one could be in fear of his life from what happened there. Or is it just because he decides that he was in fear of his life that made it so?
And by the way, the only way it would work too is if he said, I was in fear for my life because I thought if he did attack me, all the wrestlers would run and leave and not help.
Yeah.
Like he was surrounded by wrestlers. They were everywhere. They were next to him. Let's go back to Tony Khan speaking to Ariel Helwani about CM Punk. He must say something at some point here.
think AEW is doing really well right now, and I'm really happy with what the people on the shows are doing. And it wasn't the first time that he and I disagreed about something, and it may not ever be the last, and that's okay. But I had tried to reconcile, and I wanted to find a way for everybody to be able to work together, and that didn't work, and that's okay. And it seems like everybody's happier and doing better right now. I know in AEW right now, everybody's really happy, and it feels like this is the best the locker room's been since the Jacksonville lockdown days. And we had over
We've heard that exact thing several times since the Punk's Young Bucks fight. That exact thing.
But besides that, have you noticed that whenever he's asked a question about anything, the most important thing is that the locker room is happy and that he feels great when he leaves the shows. That's all that they're just everybody wants to have fun.
a year of shows. And I said at the beginning of the year, I wanted to bring that mentality to every show for everybody, that either how I put it together or the way we all interact or the way we all just sit down and are straight with each other and don't let the distance grow, because in Jacksonville, it felt like the locker room was super, super tight. And then we became nomads again and we went on the road, and it wasn't like that. And this year it really has been, and it feels like this is probably the closest it's been since the beginning of AEW. And
so you can only have a functioning goddamn talent roster if they're in the same building every week instead of out on the road where they might not be able to speak to each other as often. Because everybody's personal friends, not co-workers, and we need to know if anybody's goddamn psoriasis is acting up. Can he just shut the fuck up or get to a point?
Everything was so much better when we were all locked in a room getting COVID together. It felt like we were all one. Jim, any final thoughts on his comments about CM Punk before we go to our final section here where you're
I didn't hear him make any, so that's my final comment.
that they could, they've disagreed in the past and he's sure they'll disagree in the future.
I'll bet on that. I'll put some money on that too.
He did everything he could for them to reconcile. You put money on that?
Yeah, what the? No, he didn't. Be a boss, stand up, manage your locker room, manage your employees, kick out the fucking dead weight, not the biggest star, do any of those things. No, he didn't. He just avoided confrontation so nobody would yell at him and scare him.
What do you think about CM Punk saying that you let guys walk all over you? Well, he's entitled to his opinion. That's your answer to that.
It's in the eye of the beholder, just because I got prints on my fucking face.
It's worth two in the bush. We're just using half of these expressions.
I don't know if Tony's ever been in one bush.